Yes, good morning, everybody. So, what I would like to do here is to give an insight into the delicate balance between adaptation and mitigation in a sectoral perspective.
Sorry, Bela, to interrupt you. Could you just expand your slide?
Yeah. Wait a second.
Thank you.
Okay. I mean a delicate balance. First of all, because we have to be aware that in terms of mitigation and adaptation, so I mean the effects of climate change, are linked to different inequalities. So we are facing inequalities in very different dimensions, and they are often in interplay with each other. So if you tackle one inequality, the other one will run away, and vice versa. So it's not that easy. So first of all, it is clear that with climate change, we are at the verge of the abyss. The AR6 report was clear. We saw the evidence yesterday, partially also today. What I would still want to add to this is that one lesson was really dramatic, that the 1.5 centigrade warming scenario is slipping away. So it's getting less and less realistic. And this was always seen as the threshold of the manageable. So we certainly have a problem here. It is also clear that a fundamental revision of our economic model, our growth model, consumption and production needs to be done. It is evident, and it's a fundamental paradigm change. This has been clear for a while, but it is still less clear what all this means. The Fit for 55 package launched this summer gave an insight, maybe the first one, that it's really getting serious. And also the social effects of what is going to happen are appearing now clearer. And this is important. It's a very important reality check. I would also would like to point to the difficult fact that while the awareness is raising that climate change is real, it is man-made, and it is accelerating. That's a real danger. It is not only the use now; it is kind of getting mainstream. But still, and let's face this. The general perception is still that climate action, climate policy hurts more than climate change. I mean, hurts more in the sense of here and now, because if I lose my job in the coal sector, in the automobile sector, in whatever, I lose it right now and here. But what the effects of climate change will be, we know very well, and this is actually the big policy problem. These effects are indirect, these are distant in both time and space. The link between collective and individual risk is not very direct. And unfortunately, it is also the case that those who are responsible for most of the emissions are likely to be less affected than those who are not responsible. And it is the future generations, vulnerable regions, vulnerable groups, vulnerable people who are more affected. So there is a little bit of attention here. And this is an important thing to address this. So I would say in this regard that the big challenge is that to prevent a catastrophe and runaway inequality in the future, we have to face new inequalities here and now. And these new inequalities need to be tackled efficiently. And this is about the just transition policies. Looking at sectors, yes, we have quite different effects, and this is also important that sectors are affected very differently. So the fossil energy sector is certainly dramatically affected, and those jobs are threatened, and they will partially disappear. That is no way around it. What we have to do is to manage this transition properly. The automobile industry that actually weathered all the crisis quite well until 2019. It is facing revolutionary changes ahead, massive changes, with also uncertainty about jobs and job losses, and certainly a massive transformation of jobs. Energy-intensive industries will be affected hard. There is an important role of different technologies and how different decarbonization technologies can affect employment and how those are distributed regionally. The construction sector is going to be the winner, but there are transition issues there. So first, on coal, just to have this in mind, only the coal power plants in Europe in 2018, 18% of total EU emissions were emitted by 284 coal plants that had 52,000 employees. So 52,000 jobs were responsible for 18% of EU emissions. That's quite a heavy thing. And at the same time, turn it around, the number of jobs here, and if you look at the broader figure, up to 200,000, it is in itself not huge, but these jobs are concentrated to countries, few countries, Poland, half of these jobs, and that's why we need here targeted policies, industrial and regional policies. This is partially on the way. This is a difficult problem, but it is a manageable problem. The automobile industry with almost 14 million jobs altogether in Europe, it is a much bigger challenge. And we also see that in that transformation, there are different restructuring waves adding up on each other. So we have the electrification that is now the main route. We have automation, digitization, and we have a new geopolitical reality. So this is a delicate process. So there are different studies that tackle the employment effects of the automobile industry. One lesson is clear that roughly 1.5, 1.6 million jobs will be basically transformed. And there are job losses at different extent in different countries. It is clear that the electrical car needs much less employment input, but there are other segments of the value chain where job creation will happen. Here you can see a forecast for France for the powertrain sector. So this is the engine sector that with a Green Deal scenario, so phase out of combustion engine by 2035, you have, in this particular sector, a dramatic decrease of employment. The IG Metall, the German trade union, was recognizing this challenge, and they are saying that if the European and the German automobile industry is not adapting quickly, it will have the fate of Kodak or Nokia or all these companies that once were pioneering, very successful, but they downfall. So to avoid this downfall, the industry needs to adopt, and this is what is happening now. But it is also costly. For the construction sector, all the big programs, renovation wave, the Green Deal recovery plans are creating opportunities for the construction sector, and there are jobs creation. But what we have to know is that the poor quality of jobs in the construction sector is not favorable for the reskilling and job transformation needs that the new technologies there mean. So there are lots of work to do in the construction sector as well. Energy-intensive industries, steel, chemicals, fertilizers, cement, face huge challenges. There are different ways to tackle that, circular economy solutions, more recycling, less material use. This certainly would affect employment negatively. On the other hand, the hydrogen technology that is looked upon as the main way is better for employment and also carbon capture and storage. But these latter two are conditional to a lot of factors, and they are regionally different. So different regions are affected differently. So that is a challenge, how particular countries will deal with that. So, and last but not least, I also have to say a few words on the distributional effects of climate policies that became really apparent with the Fit for 55 package, primarily due to the new emission trading system for transport and building, where the population, the households are going to be affected directly. And this is certainly, and here we have to face digressive distributional effects. That means that poorer households are affected more by higher energy price, by higher carbon price, and we already have high energy poverty. So there are really important issues to manage here. And last but not least, for the automobile sector, it is not only a question of employees in the automobile manufacturing, but it's for the population. So if you need to change the car fleet in a very short time period, this means tens of millions of cars, then the affordability of new low-emission vehicles for a large part of the population is not there. And actually, even the current support mechanisms for electrical vehicle is favoring the high-income people because they can take those supports, and not the ones who have the old diesel cars that are being banned in certain cities. So it is going to be a huge social problem that also needs to be addressed, and only when these problems and these issues will be addressed properly. I mean, also the employment effects on the one hand, the job transformation effects, and all these distributional effects, how people will have their individual mobility affordable, needs to be responded properly, because for many people, these are the most imminent problems, and less the case what will happen in 30 or 40 years with climate change. And this is a reality we have to face. And certainly trade unions have a crucial role in this, in many ways, with social dialogue, with managing labor market transitions, with demanding coherent policy frameworks and balanced policy frameworks, and also realizing how different inequalities needs to be addressed properly. Thank you very much.